Hey, good morning and welcome to American Reversion. How are you all today? If you're new here, welcome. It's good to have you. You're going to find a channel here that we talk about what the heck's wrong with this country, how did it happen, and what are we going to do about it. And those of you who have been with us for a while know that already. If you are new here, read the comments below. It's not just what I say here, but we got some sharp people. And their comments are well worth the reading. Feel free to comment, be polite, be nice, don't call anybody an idiot or anything like that, because we're all here trying to pull in the same direction, right? We're all here trying to figure out how to right this ship, how to get this thing back on track. I was going to read from the Naked Communist, that list of goals of the American Communist Party, but I'm going to slip this one in here today because I have this on my list to do on this channel on what you can do. You know, we've talked about what's going on, but we need to really think about what we can do, and so it's kind of the battle plan. It's what we should all really be doing. How do we win this fight? And we can. Don't fall prey to that idea that, it's all over and nothing can be done. I know that's the feeling of many. It's the feeling, to be honest, of those who don't want to try. It's that pseudo superiority that they find in cynicism, as if, well, you all are just so stupid thinking that that you can do anything about this, and so I'm out of it. Well, that's not the mark of an intelligent person. It's the mark of a person who doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to try, doesn't want to get in the battle. And it's the mark of somebody who has just given up. I want to use the example here before I read this list. I've compiled the list. It's not a complete list. I'll be reading from that in a minute. I hope you all will add to it. But I'm going to read that list in a minute and talk a little bit about it. But I want to throw this out, that for anybody who has not been with us before, and for those of you who have, whether this country can be saved or whether it has to completely collapse and then rebuilt, it's all a matter of personal opinion and conjecture. A person do you all ever watch? Have you ever watched those rehab shows on? I forget what it is. I used to watch cable TV, and these ones where they'd go in and they'd tear apart the house and rebuild it, make it look really nice. I used to watch those before I got as busy as I am now, but I found them very interesting. And maybe some of you have rehabbed a house, and you know that. You can look at a house and it just looks like it's just in terrible shape. I mean, everything. And one person will say, it's not worth the saving. Burn it down or knock it down or whatever. That's the person who isn't willing to put in the work to restore it. That's what it's really about. By the way, could I ask, I'm going to throw in here, please share this video. We're going to be talking about things that we want more people to hear about and to become involved in. That's our strength. Our strength is in numbers. Our strength is getting our message out there. And so please share this video or any of my videos. But now we're getting into this. It's far more important. So the one person, he's not willing to put in the work. That's what it's all about. And he says, I'm leaving. I'm going to give it up, or I'm going to burn it down or knock it down and whatever. Another person looks at it and says, you know what? That house was designed well. That was at one time a beautiful house. And I can see that it's still got the basic structure, the bones they call it. It's got good bones, and I can rehab this. Now, I'm going to have to tear a lot of stuff out of there, okay? I'm going to have to tear out the old electrical system. I'm going to have to tear out the old heating system. I'm going to have to tear out and knock down all the walls that are the lath and plaster, if you all are familiar with that. I'm going to have to knock those down, and I'm going to have to pretty much, but I'm going to leave the frame. The foundation is good, the frame is good, and I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put in all new plumbing from all that iron pipe that was all rusted out and corroded and things. You can see where I'm going with this, right? The things that have happened to our country. I'm tearing out all the old electrical. I'm running all new electrical. I am going to, when I get all that in, I'm going to sheetrock the house. I'm going to paint it. I am going to get this place back to looking not even just as good as it once did, but better. And those of us who have this hope, that's who we are. Okay, that's who we hope are. And the people that don't want to put on the work are laughing at us. Oh, how stupid that is! You're ridiculous. It's beyond repair. It's beyond redemption. Well, first off, let me slip in a little religious note here. With God, nothing is beyond redemption, and nothing is impossible. So we always want to keep that in our minds. A good help and a prayer at the beginning. Remember, I'm not wearing the Appeal to Heaven cap here. An Appeal to Heaven, right? That's also the name of one of my books. Ask God for His direction and blessing, and then do it. And in that way, nothing is impossible, because we are involved in a spiritual war here. So that's the difference in what we're thinking about. We're thinking about this was a great old house. It was built, the foundation was right, the framing was right, and over the years, people let it just go to hell. And we're going to see if we can't redo it. So I'm going to read a list of things here, and I want you all to, I've put up, thinking about that, I just read a couple of articles here, and one was about the new mayor. This is indicative of how they're letting this house go. The new mayor of Chicago, apparently worse than Lightfoot, says that they want even illegals to be able to vote in their elections. That's great. And then another story out of that city, they found a whole bunch of illegals living inside a police station. For those of you who are with us on Patreon, I'm going to put, when I put this video on Patreon, and for those of you who don't know, everything that goes on YouTube also goes on Patreon, and a lot of other stuff too. So those of you who are on Patreon, when I put up this, I will put those articles down in the links under this this video. Maybe I'll put them up individually. We'll see. If you're not with us on Patreon, the link on how to get to us is down below. It's only $1 a month. You get so much more than here, and it's well worth your money. So come join us over there. Okay, let's get to the list. What you can do. Now some of these things, excuse me, I'll take a sip here. Some of these first ones are going to be very simple. Don't let their simplicity fool you. These are important, and I'm going to get through them very quickly, but they have to do with channels and what we're doing right now. Okay. Number one, support all the channels that talk about what we're talking about. Okay. All of the channels that you watch that are talking about trying to fight against this disease that has taken over our country, please support them. Support them subscribe to them, not just me, but to all of them. Subscribe to them. Help their numbers. Give them a thumbs up, okay? I don't know whether this helps or not, but I'm told that it does, so give them a thumbs up. Comment on them. Even if the comment is just a, hey, great video, or I agree with you, or a thumbs up, or a smile, or something like that, it registers in they call it the algorithm, like it's something secretive. I don't think that it is. I think that it's just a matter of, YouTube looks at, hey, what videos are being watched, and how many comments are they getting, and that's how they decide to put on advertising, which there's nothing wrong with the advertising. If you really want to help a channel, let it run their ads. Run their ads. Go to the bathroom. Don't get upset about, oh, they're running ads and they're in. It doesn't mean that they hate the channel or love the channel. It means that they think this channel is going to get some views. And so we have an opportunity to make a little money off of it. That's how they make their money. And then they kick back a little bit, not very much, but a little bit to the channel itself. So it helps. So you don't have to watch them. Go make a sandwich. Go to the bathroom. Come back when the commercial is over. If you're just too busy to for that to help a channel, and help the movement and help the country, I don't know what to say. Share the videos. Please share my videos. The other people too. Share them. Start your own channel if you have something to say. I know not everybody, that's not for everybody, but you'd be surprised. I didn't want to start my channels either. The only reason that I started the first channel, Integrative Preparedness, was to talk about my books and to answer some questions about my books. One of our sponsors, I'll talk about them in a minute here. But start your own channel. Those of you who leave great comments, if you don't want to say anything more on your video than what you say in the comments, hey, leave a comment and then put them up on your site. It'll mean you'll probably get more viewers. Different viewers than may come here. If you have a Cynthia over at Roots, Rocks, and Feathers, she does mainly stuff on chickens and knitting and things like that. But she is. She leaves some comments on both of the channels, Integrative Preparedness and this one. Amazing depth in her comments. And so, she occasionally puts the political stuff in her video over there. So you may have an interest that it's not even mainly political, but I don't care what you do, start your own channel. Kind of share your thoughts. It works. It helps. The information that's out there in the ethers, the information that's out there in the public, it has an effect on people. Flood your elected officials with emails and letters. I know that some people hate to do this, but it's not hard. Put together a form, a form email in Word or whatever you're processing in. Keep track of what your elected officials are doing. You have to have, if you really want to be in the fight. Now, I'm getting to more fun stuff here in a minute. I'll get on. I know when I get to this one, everybody goes, it doesn't do any good. Well, it does do good. It does have an effect. Just not enough people are doing it. Okay, simple as that. We have seen a great progress in Second Amendment issues over the last just couple of years. And amazing, I've said this before, since the 1970s when I was still in law enforcement, and 80s. And that's because of political pressure, and that's because of people communicating with their elected official. So do that. Call your local talk shows. If you like to talk, every town's got a local talk show. These may be the biggest idiots in the world. I know that the ones in Kansas City are. They're just they're asses. Okay, but you know what? They have an audience that's a lot bigger than yours if you're just talking to your friends. And if they're talking about something, get on the phone. It doesn't, if whether you agree with them or not, get your opinion out there and just state it simply. Here's the thing. If you disagree with them, they might take shots at you and they might make fun of you. But you know what? Hundreds of thousands of people just heard your comment and your reasoned response to what they're talking about. And that has an effect. A lot of the other people listening to the show know that they're idiots. They just listen for entertainment and such as that. Or you might have a talk show that is, agrees with you. Good. Get on there and support their show. Talk to them. They love people calling in. Attend your local city and county meetings. Showing up is a lot. And commenting is a lot. Getting to know your representatives. There may be some on your side that are total asses. Truly, but they vote the right way. There may be some that are on the other side. They're really nice folks, but they vote the wrong way. Get to know who these people are, and if you're the kind of person who likes to become politically involved, then do it. Meet these people, talk with them, let them know that there's actual flesh and blood people out there who care. Okay. Speak up at work. Boy, here's a big one. Speak up at work. That's a tough one. But here's the problem. I remember, and I've told this story before, over at the hospital where I used to work. I remember one time in the ER, the emergency department there, everybody in there was as conservative as you could imagine. Everybody. There was one person who was a lib. And do you know that all of the conservatives would talk in whispers, just in case. What if that one lib heard us and reported us to HR? Well, that's exactly what the founders thought, right? Yeah, we can't speak up. We can't speak up because we might offend some lily-livered, person. And I mentioned that to the rest of them. I look at this, crying out loud. You're all being quiet. And I had a tendency not to be quiet. And I was called down to HR, and you know what I told them? I says, hey, I'm ready for this fight. You want to fight it? Let's fight it. And you know what happened? Nothing. And they backed down. They are not used to people fighting them. So speak up at work. Even if it doesn't have to be argumentative. Express yourself, your reasoned and respectful comments. It has an effect. First off, if you've got a bunch of people around there spouting their lib idiocy, it'll start to shut them down because they think they've got a free fire zone now. They think that everybody's afraid to speak up. Show them that everybody's not. And you know what? It will give cover, if you want, or it'll give support to other people who feel like you. I don't know how many people I've had come to me and say, I am so glad you said that. I didn't know anybody here, not in the ER, but other places. I am so glad you said it. First, they're talking in whispers. After a couple of months, when you'll just stand there and discuss, your opinion on something and not lower your voice, it gives them a little bit of courage. And all of a sudden, we've got more people expressing fundamental, simple values and principles in the workplace. How about that? Yeah, HR can call you down all they want to if you're not violating any of their little rules. Sometimes I have backed down HR. I can't tell you how many times by simply saying, I did nothing wrong. This other person, this is a bunch of crap, and I can't wait for this fight. People are, okay. They are surprised when they hear somebody say that, and you know what? They're not ready for it. And you know what they'll do then? They'll hide. Okay, join a political club. Political clubs may not be your thing. I get it. I get it completely because most of them are full of the institutionalized people. Well, hey, go in there and give them a shot. Get some uninstitutionalized voices in there. You don't have to like them. They're not going to like you, maybe. But go in there and express your opinion. Let people know. You have to be the inoculation. Let people know, hey, there's people out here that feel different than you, and you better get your ass on the right rail, or we're going to take over this group. It can be done. Go with some friends. Go with your family. You'll be surprised. If you don't want to join a political club, or even if you do, start a political club. Start one. Well, how do I do that? Call your friends. Say, hey, you want to start? We all think alike, and we hate these people that are in this political club. You want to start a political club? Let's start one. And what we'll do is we'll get together occasionally. We'll talk about it, and then we will email. We will give ourselves a name, and we will email the candidates in the next election, and we will tell them, this comes from the XYZ Political Club for America. Do it. That's how you can fight. Host patriotic barbecues. Hey, get your people together. You got your group of friends. You got your new political club. Host a barbecue and invite other people to it. And do those things that people don't do so much anymore. How about starting your barbecue with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? How about that? How about as we're cooking up the burgers and weenies, we're talking about what's going on when we have new people there, especially. We're talking about it succinctly. We're showing our respect for the way America is supposed to be and God's direction in it. You are going to attract people who feel the same way, and your group can grow. Wear patriotic and political hats and shirts. There we go. Start the, just the one that I made yesterday, was it, or whenever, and I had a couple of people say, hey, I wear my dad wears his Trump hat everywhere. He gets a lot of compliments. It starts a lot of conversations. Yes, it does. And you know what it does? It lets the other people. Now, like I say, I don't wear this hat when I'm going to a restaurant or where I'm going anywhere where somebody who can see it is going to prepare my food, because I don't want to eat that stuff, right? But wear your stuff around. You know, if it's kind of like if you really want to fight, the economic fight is important. I'll do a separate one on this here one of these days. But economic warfare. If you've got a few extra bucks, donate it to a candidate that you think represents your values, and go to their events. With this, spend a few bucks, buy a cap, buy a T-shirt, buy something, wear it around, show the flag. It has an effect. It again, just like speaking up at work, it supports those who feel the same, and it lets those on the other side know, hey, whoa, we got some opposition out here, right? Okay. Engage others with facts and reason. Understand what's going on. Be able to succinctly express a position in a respectful way, in a reasonable way, that causes them to have to defend their position. That's it. So often we try to force our positions on others, but this other side never has to defend theirs. You know, so you know, instead of saying someone, nobody who doesn't work should eat. Okay, well, I mean that's in my books, right? It's in the Bible. But, you know, that's going to, you know, that elicits, and it's so easy to be a lib. I sometimes just frustrate Kelly by acting like a lib. It's so easy. Why do you hate children? Why do you hate those who aren't, you know, don't have as much money as you? Why do you? Okay, so don't do that. Instead, ask them, why do you think people who don't work should be given money from those who do? Okay. That's how you go at these people. And it's even better when it's in front of other people, because it takes them down and makes others think. Okay? Watch patriotic movies with your kids. I know that they're not all true. I know that, you know, Hollywood and you know, they take great liberties with these things. But wouldn't you say that that's better than some of the crap that's being put out there? And it gives you the opportunity. And invite friends over. Hey, come over, watch The Patriot. You know, that's a great movie, but it's not the only one. There's a lot of movies that are great. Come over. We'll have a pizza and watch this movie and talk about those things. You know, it's kind of like church. You know, going to church, you know what the Bible says, hopefully, you know, but going to church gives you that support, that group support that can be so important. And the same with getting together with people. It gives them just a re-energized attitude. And, you know, they go to work the next day and say, hey, well, we got together and we watched such and such, and they might invite somebody to the next movie night. Little Hummingbird, I was going to say here, she left a couple of Let me see how we're doing on time. If I've got time, I'll squeeze this in real fast. She left a couple of comments that I wanted to address. And it was on the We're Now in Raw, so that's been several videos ago. And I want to read her, because she left two comments. They're both pretty much the same. I'll read them both here. Her first one was, as a 79-year-old single lady with no money sitting around, I doubt there is much I can do along the lines you are getting at. The second was, I am a single 79-year-old lady with no extra money laying around. I must be one of those who cannot, not in all caps, do what you propose in your books. Okay, little hummingbird, I say this with love. Stop with the negativity. Stop it. Okay, 79 years old. I don't know your physical situation, but I'm going to say this. There is always something that you can do. Always. And your limitations are set by you. Okay. This gets into groups, and this is really more over on the integrative preparedness. But just because you can't shoot a gun, just because you can't dig a ditch, just because you can't, whatever, all those things that call for strength and vigor and things like this, just because you can't do that, why do you think that means you can't do anything? Why? I know many older people who are out there still doing things. And if you don't have any money around, it's not always about money. It's about support. It's about people. Okay? Kelly's mother is almost 80 years old and still runs a cleaning business. She's out there all the time. My mother was still working well into her 80s just because, she could always think of things to do. First off, you need to think of things that you can do. You need to think of it, okay? I have too many people asking me, but what can I do? How about you think about what you can do, okay? And what she referred to in my books, in case those of you, anybody who is new, this, and I should have mentioned this earlier, this and all of my videos are sponsored by the Stonemont series, my series of books that I wrote. It's about how to prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a total collapse. It's the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and the brand new one that just came out that's blowing everything off the charts, Hostages to Fortune. They're available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. I found out that, scratch it. They're also available on our new website, stonemont.us, not .com, .us, because this is the Stonemont series. It happens at a place called Stonemont. It's a series of novels. It's a great story. And it's all about that. And it's about community. It's about the foundational principles of our country. It's about what happened to our country. It's about what should have been done, all wrapped up in a story of preparedness and survival and reinstituting government among men, things like it, communities, all those things. So she says, a little hummingbird says, well, I can't do anything that's in your book. Well, just because I wrote about the people doing the action stuff, there were plenty of people in the background who were doing the things like watching the kids and telling stories from the old days and comforting people and all of those things. Okay. So that's the Stonemont series. It's, like I say, it's available on Amazon and either paperback or Kindle, and from me in paperback autographed. And the way to get from me autographed is through the website stonemont.us. And that's that. So there is I don't allow anybody to come to me and say there is nothing I can do. Okay. There is always something you can do. And the difference between people is those who are willing to say, instead of I can't do anything, those who are willing to say, what can I do? What can I do? What can you do? What can I do? Okay. This country that we are so sad to see falling apart was not built by people that say, there's nothing I can do. It was built by people who said, what can I do? And if we're going to pull this thing out, it's going to be pulled out by others who say, what can I do? Okay. Leave your comments. Please share this video. Leave your comments. I want to hear what else you could add to my list, because it's going to give other people a lot of ideas, and that's important. And it's important to know that other people are out there, pulling on the rope with you. So I look forward to reading all your comments. Remember to join us over on Patreon for the extra stuff. If you're not with us, the link is right down below. It only costs you $1 a month. And remember that America needs a reversion, needs a lot of things. But it's up to you. It needs you to be a part of it. It needs me to be a part of it. And if we're all a part of it, we might be able to rehab this house without burning it down. So you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.